market today for fresh veggies and tofu. Everybody's looking for a healthier way. Christina can show you. Yeah, when Christina cooks, she does it the Whole Foods way. Yeah, when Christina cooks, she'll take you every step of the way. When Christina cooks.
Okay, it snowed yesterday. So here it is, a Sunday, the middle of winter, and I just want to make a lovely cozy dinner for Robert and me because it's gross outside. So I'm going to make our favorite dinner. I'm letting you in on the secret. Lentil soup Italian style and artichokes. Ay, 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 you cannot believe how great this is. And a collard green salad. So we're going to start with the lentil soup. I have some diced onions in the pan and I'm adding some extra virgin olive oil. Now you notice the heat's not on yet because what's going to happen is I want my heat to build so I keep the flavor of the olive oil. So over here I smashed some garlic and now I'm going to continue to mince it so that I have nice small pieces. The smaller the pieces, the better the garlic flavor, the stronger the garlic flavor. So if you wanted really mild garlic flavor, you could put the whole clove in and then just pull it out. And then you'll have this lovely garlic sort of essence, which is nice. Okay? So we're going to let that sizzle build. You notice you don't hear anything yet. As the sizzle builds, then we'll get that olive oil taste. So while that happens, I'll just prep my other two veggies. This is a really simple soup. So we're just going to take some celery. And to dice the celery, you cut it lengthwise into spears, like this, and then you just cut across. And you have little diced pieces of celery. Just really quick like that, split it in half at the top, and dice across. Hear the sizzle? Hear it building? Yay! Now normally, I add a pinch of salt right now. But this is a bean soup, and I want my lentils to get really creamy, so I'm not adding that pinch of salt. We're just going to saute these onions 30 seconds to a minute. You just want to get that strong onion aroma to dissipate and let the onions become what they call translucent. This is called sweating the onion. And this is where you pull the sweetness of it out. You sweat the sweetness out. So when the onions are ready, then we'll just add our next veggie, which in this case is celery. So now the celery goes in. You got to kind of move along a little now. If you're going to do it this way, prepping as you go, you got to kind of move a little. So now the celery's coated with oil. And now we'll dice our carrot. And for the carrot, I'm going to split it lengthwise like this. And then again, the same thing as the celery. You cut it into long spears, like so. And then you cut across. And you create nice diced pieces. The key is to have pieces that are the same size so that they cook evenly. You don't suddenly bite down on this hard piece of carrot because you cut this great big chunk and put it in there. So the carrot goes in. And we're going to give it another stir so that the carrot gets coated with oil. By stirring like this, you prevent the vegetables from burning because now they're coated with a little bit of oil. So it's just a really nice trick to not, burning your veggies. So while they sort of simmer, in goes what I call the special secret ingredient. These are tomatoes that Robert and I jarred over the summer. And it's work. You have to peel every tomato and blanch them and put them in cold water and put them in the jars and sterilize the jars. But when you open them, it's summer. It's summer all over again, and they're the best thing ever. Now, if you don't have your own jarred tomatoes, you buy them. You buy canned diced tomatoes or canned whole tomatoes, and you dice them. So we can them whole, so then I just cut them lengthwise, and you pull that little piece of core out as you dice them, so you don't have, again, another hard bit in there. We're going to probably use about 2 of the tomatoes in the soup. And these are just coarse pieces, and then I'll run my knife over the whole thing to make them smaller. Now the thing with canned whole tomatoes is if you dice them too finely, you make tomato sauce. So don't dice them too finely. So I'm going to pick them up, and they're going to go right in. There's that sizzle we all love. right in. And now, we'll just stir them around for a minute. Let them let their juices start to bleed into the soup pot. And now in will go a half cup of lentils. What I did was just take humble green lentils, you know, the simple green, or you can use brown, and I rinsed them because beans can be a little bit dusty. So they go in next, and now we'll add water. We want 4 times the amount of water as you have beans to make soup. So we have half cup of lentils, so 2 cups of water. So we'll put a cup in here, take another cup, and just pour it in there, and then the soup will just simmer. It takes about 45 minutes. It gets really creamy. The longer you can let it cook, if you have an hour to even an hour and 15 minutes, it gets rich and creamy and lovely. Now at this point, you want to add something to the soup that will help you to break down the fiber so that you don't become musical after you eat beans. So what we're going to add, you can add kombu, which is a sea plant, but since this is an Italian soup, I'm going to be adding a bay leaf. These were actually dried by a friend of mine from Greece. They're gorgeous. So 1 bay leaf will go in, and we'll take that out after the soup is cooked, and that'll help to tenderize the fiber in the beans so that, again, you digest them more easily and you really have a great hearty soup that you easily digest. So we're going to bring this to a boil covered. And while that comes to the boil, I'll get the second part of our dinner ready, which is artichokes. Okay, artichokes. Most people buy them, just the hearts, in a can because they're afraid of this. I mean, what do you do with this, right? Artichokes are not only the richest vegetable in antioxidants, but they couldn't be more delicious and sexy. And easy, wait till you see. You need an hour of time, but not an hour of prep. So you need a little time, but they're no big deal. So you take your artichoke, and you want to try to find one that's really green with a little bit of purple on the tips, right? It's a thistle. And you want to find one with a pretty good stem. And not too open. You want them tight, like this. When they're really open, they're old. So then you're going to take your stem, and you're going to lay it on the board, and taking your knife, you're going to travel around it like this. And take the outer tough skin off, because that has a lot of fibrous sort of threads. And you're going to set that aside. Now you're just going to take a pair of kitchen scissors, and you're going to take each leaf, and you're going to cut the tip off. The tip is prickly like a thistle. So you want to cut that away, because at the base of that leaf that you're going to suck on with your teeth is the exact same tender flesh as you get in the heart of the artichoke. So once you trim away the leaves, you get to about the top third. Now you come back to your board, and with a sharp knife, you cut the top third of the artichoke off. Now at this point, you can stuff it. And by stuffing it, you take breadcrumbs and you just drop them down in between each leaf. It takes a little bit of time, but it's lovely. Now for me, that just adds calories that I don't really want. And artichokes are so great on their own, why bother? So then what you'll do, you'll take the artichokes and you'll put them into a saucepan where they fit tightly, but that they fit. Now you add the stems. These stems also taste exactly like the heart. And then my own personal way to do this is I put some whole garlic cloves, and now you're going to add water to accumulate about a ½ inch. You're going to poach these. Now I drizzle them with some extra virgin olive oil. This is one that's scented with basil. So that's going to give a really nice taste to the artichokes. And the very last thing is some salt. Right over the top of the artichokes. Then we'll cover these, put them on the stovetop, bring them to a boil, and they'll cook for about an hour. You know the artichoke is done when you can reach in and pull a bottom leaf off easily. Then they're totally done, tender, and delicious. So I'll see you when they're done. Yum! See how the water's lightly boiling? That's perfect temperature for cooking. Ooh, these will be ready in about 30 minutes. I can't wait. Okay, it's been 45 minutes. Look at this lentil soup. It's gorgeous, just gorgeous. I'm going to pull out the bay leaf because you really can't eat them. They won't hurt you, but they don't ever get soft, so people could choke on them. But you see how creamy it got? Because the lentils got nice and soft because there was no salt in here. So now we're going to add a little sea salt. For a pot of soup like this that has about 4 cups of water, you want about a nice teaspoon of salt. This will be a few servings, and you want that to, have enough flavor. So now we just stir the salt in. We're going to cover it, and you're going to let it simmer for at least another 5 to 7 minutes, because that'll help the salt to develop. And now, it's time to check the artichokes. They are just about perfect. Let's see if I can get a leaf here. No, still hanging on. They need about another 15 minutes and they'll be ready to go. Okay. See you in 15. Okay, we love salads. When I work out and Robert works out, we're 6-day-a-weekers, and it makes us feel very contracted and tight, if you will. So by eating a salad every day, we feel lighter and fresher. But it's cold. I mean, snow. So I don't want to eat a completely raw salad. So what I'm going to do is take some collard greens, and I'm going to split the leaf just in half like that. And these are going to go into some boiling salted water. Right, I just put a pinch of salt so that all the nutrients in the collard greens stay in the collard greens. And that salt will help that to happen. Right, you don't want your water turning green. You want the nutrients to stay in the leaves. So as soon as they wilt, since this is going to be a salad after all, they're done. I'm just cooking them enough to break down the cellulose in them, which will allow us to digest them and make the nutrients available to us. So now I'll take them and just slice them into thin little ribbons so that they make, a really nice sort of pretty salad where everything is sort of shredded. But you can cut them into bite-sized pieces, whatever trips your trigger. So they're going to go right into the salad bowl, and I'm going to kind of spread them out so that they cool, because I don't want the rest of my salad greens to cook. So I'll prep those really quickly. So we have Belgian endive. You just trim the bottom off, and then sort of on a diagonal, again, so it creates a pretty ribbon cut, you just shred. And then we'll just do the other half. And that's going to go right on top of our collards. You can see they've already stopped steaming because the bowl is kind of wide. Remember to clean your cutting board in between every veggie. So now we'll take some radicchio, which is a nice bitter green and hearty this time of year, and it helps you to digest well, but it also has a flavor that really sort of refreshes your palate. Again, just a shred, and you just want to, run your knife along it and create nice shredded pieces. And when you get to this place where it's not standing up so well, you just flip it over. And then one last slice. You need a really good sharp knife to make a nice salad. So that goes on top. And then we're going to just dress it incredibly, incredibly simply. So, for a salad, you want the best olive oil you can get your hands on. So we're going to use some extra virgin olive oil. This is not your everyday cooking oil. This is that strong, fruity, delicious, oh my God, it tastes just like the olive branches oil. A little balsamic vinegar. This one is aged in cherry wood, so it's really, really sweet and delicate, and it'll go very well with the bitterness of the greens. A little sea salt. And a little cracked black pepper. Then, we'll just toss it. So you have the cooked greens and the raw greens. You have great color. And this is a really pretty winter salad. It'll help keep the body fresh as well as not make you feel cold or weak. Right? So you get cooked and raw in this salad brilliantly and simply flavor, and it's just a nice sort of finish to a winter feast. Okay, the artichokes are done, and so while the weather outside might be frightful, our dinner is delightful.